wasting the land. Someone who always can. Don't you know? Robito!
Indeed, it's the biggest party on Monday night. What's Up Flobo After Hours. That's right. The spin-off show to What's Up Flobo, also available on the YouTube channel. That's right, youtube.com/Flobo Boyce. That's me. And it's been a crazy week, man. Crazy week. Things are happening left and right. But you're with me. We're going to guide ourselves through it. I want to give a shout out to the chat. Those who always stopped in over the week's time. Talking about the Charlene's, we're talking about the Derricks, talking about the Haywood Wongs. You guys are helping to grow this show. I appreciate you guys right down from the cockles of my cold black heart. Before we get into today's festivities, I have a very special guest. It's very special because he does like 18 billion things and does them well. Give it up for Humza Mania, Humza Khan, man. How's it going?
What's up, man? Oh my God, I'm on your show. I'm on What's Up Flobo.
After hours, we're in the treehouse, man.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I wore no pants for the after hours, so we're good.
Yeah, that's how we do it. I mean, it's hot as balls in the West Coast. West Side. I don't know where you are in LA. Are you in LA or Florida? I don't know.
No, I'm in LA right now, in K-Town, and it's ridiculous here.
Yeah, there's no breeze in K-Town.
No. and then my living room is the thing that has the air conditioner, but my room doesn't. So I'm recording here, I'm sweating my ass off right now. Just like, all right, let's get this over with.
I'm in the same boat. Like I have one of those screening doors. You're like, oh man, I can't get an air conditioner for that, but I can get one of those ones with the tubes on it. But then you're just like, I'm that guy with the air conditioner in my room 9 months out the year where I don't need it. It's just a weird vibe, man. I see you, sir. I was perusing your Facebook page the other day because I'm totally
stalker.
I'm totally stalking you, bro. What's this I hear about you getting pulled over by the cops, man? Are you running drugs? What's going on, man?
I wish. So I first of all, I love cops. Every time I get pulled over by a cop, it ends up being the best experience of my life, right? Yeah. We always talk it up. It's just good people, and just, as long as we're on the same page, everything goes well. But I'm driving down here. I'm on K-Town on 6th Street, right by Wilshire. Okay. And I'm just driving. Beautiful 6th. Oh my God, so sexy. That's why I drive down 6th Street, because so freaking sexy. So I get pulled over. I see the cops making a U-turn. I'm like, all right, he's coming after me for some reason. So I put my hazards on. I pull over right off the bat. He comes up on me and he's like, you know why I pulled you over? No, not at all. Well, he said this particular car has been like reported 1 million times in this neighborhood. Now, I drive a Nissan Altima. So that car is everybody's car. Like, that's everyone's car here, But
it's one car that's shared around.
It's just shared. Like, yeah, we all share a car, But it was weird because he got really upset with me when he couldn't find a reason to give me a ticket. Okay. So I handed him my license, and I just got a house in Florida, so I have my Florida license. And I have I know, right? I'm broke now. I have a Florida license, but because I'm in LA a lot, I do a lot of entertainment stuff here. I got a LA driver's license with my LA address. So if they ever needed it, here you go. You don't have to worry about it. So I showed him both just so he knows where to mail anything he wants to mail. And he got super upset with me and said, I know what you're trying to do. You need to get a California license. Now, I'm not sure what I can possibly do with a Florida license and a California ID. Yeah. But it made no sense to me. And then at the end of it all, he said, I recommend getting rid of this car because it's on our list and we're probably going to pull you over every time.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Thanks for the insight.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he let me go. And I was like, I'm on my way. And I continued on my day.
So I'm glad he told you, because if he hadn't, that'd be kind of awkward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, every time. Yeah. So when you're not being public enemy number one, tell the world what you're doing these days. I mean, I know you're doing a bunch of stuff, man.
Public enemy number one. I've been that ever since I came to this country, right?
Immigrants, we get the job done.
Don't hate. Don't hate.
Have it on your that's what's up.
I had to get it. To get it because that's how we do.
I'm the son of immigrants, so I respect.
There you go. So the job we're getting done is a few things. The number one thing I'm the most proud of right now is something I've been doing since my backyard days when I was 15. I'm producing and commentating on a weekly wrestling show that we're doing with Knox Pro Academy. So this has been one of the biggest dream comes true for me. If anyone's having a bad corona quarantine, I apologize, but I'm having a good one.
Okay.
Me, this guy. So, I mean, all they did once was ask me if I know how to make a flyer. Now, the way I am ever since I was young, I always say yes and figure it out later, right? So
Okay, yeah.
I made this flyer and they hated it. They gave me a few pointers and I changed it around and they loved it. They're like, it's the best flyer I've ever seen. We typically pay people $100 to do stuff like this. This is great. And from there, they're like, do you know how to work software? And I'm like, I am the tech support. I can help you today.
This
So,
is general software? What kind of question is that? Do you know the computer thing? Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I
I
mean,
do.
my people are good at doctors, lawyers, and software. Just software. So we started working on the Zoom wrestling thing, and one thing left to another, and we started in March, and here we are in August, and we went from 2 computer cameras to now 7 high-definition 4K cameras, a switcher board, an entire commentary area, and we're booking wrestlers throughout the California region. And there's names like Sefa Fatu, you know him, Rikishi's son, brother of the Usos. We got El Misterioso coming, right? Misterioso is an independent wrestler who was actually trained by the Mysterio dynasty, right? And then we got people coming down like Mikey O'Shea, Mikey Callahan. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Marcus Eric's coming through. We got our own guys, Toa Leona and Juicy Finau, right? Like these big heavyweights are coming through, and it's just becoming such a fun time. So working on that first and foremost has been like a dream come true for me, you know?
Yeah, and before that, you were just slumming it as a comic, like you and I, just looking for gigs.
Yeah, I was getting up on stage for 5 minutes, not getting a say in what I could really talk about or what we need to gear this conversation towards or how we need to do things. Yeah. And then I would get off, right? Like, which was great. But you have the it's like, as a creator, we like to create. And when I watch this wrestling show, not only do you hear my voice, you see my face all over it, which is awesome, but like the graphics, the counters, the video opening, the all these different things that you see on the screen is all like my work. Yeah. So to me, it's like watching my baby come to life. Aww. And then I have these coaches behind me, like my mom and dad, right, Rikishi and Reno, and they have these coaches behind me who.
Dad's Rikishi? What the hell is?
He says it all the time. Hey, he reminds me of my dad, and I tell him that. But he says it all the time. I'm your wrestling pops. I'm your wrestling pops. And so they sharpen me like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. I'm talking about to the T. Like if we're right here watching this, I guarantee they'd pick something out of this little setup we have here and say they don't like it, so we could fix it.
Right.
And then we get to a point where it's like, and this to me looks beautiful, but we get to a point where it's like, now we have all this shit going, and it's like all this nice like high-end production, So I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me.
It is a work in progress, man. I got little things going on. Have you been watching Raw at all? Have you been watching the?
I watched it.
And so, are you pro or anti Raw Underground? I want to see where you land on this.
I am pro trying things that are new. I am pro getting better at it on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Do I wish they would focus a little bit more on the actual wrestling part of it and not so much as add new stuff? Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like a lot of people don't like the fact that that Shane is there, but I don't know. I figured there's going to be some real eccentric billionaires going to make this Fight Club happen on a third hour of Raw. It'll be that guy,
It seems like all the big dogs took their balls and went home. So I feel like other than like maybe Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins, we don't have any like really main players that come through and make this feel like a show, a production. You know what I'm saying? So having Shane back and even seeing Steph on the screen the other day, I love the McMahon family. So to me, it was like, yeah, let's do this. They're always gold. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was wondering if they would step in with the whole retribution thing, but I guess maybe not because I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that one either.
The retribution thing, man. If you could, I would actually. That's the reason I miss talking to you. I feel like you would explain to me what the hell is going on with that.
I wish I could tell you.
Like they're getting essential employees to like throw on some like hoods and stuff. I swear to God, one of them was like Ciampa. I swear one of those guys was like Ciampa. Like that sounds just like him. I heard the Miz once too.
It's just weird because like I was telling that on Twitter today. You have this group that's a bunch of like anarchists, but then you also have like black ninjas too. So you're like, well, you can't do the comedy thing and the serious thing where everyone looks the same.
It looked really goofy, and someone even said it's like, was that you? Someone said it backstage. Yeah. I was like, it's funny they pointed it out, but it's kind of they should have done a little bit better with the costuming with these people.
Yeah, fair enough. I heard it's supposed to be not Antifa, but is Antifa. Whatever, dude. I get it. I understand that. I actually like the unpredictability of Raw and SmackDown now, but I just want to know what they want. Are they bad guys? Are they good guys? Are they people who were released and are upset? Are they?
That'd be smart.
Is it a heel stable? I have no idea. Like that's the only thing that's tripping me out. Like, give me a cause, and then I can say I disagree with them. I like them.
But they're here for retribution.
Of what?
That should be enough.
Was
That's
catering
enough.
bad one day? Like, what are you retributing against?
I'm gonna show up one day. I'm gonna show up one day with you tag team. We're the mercenaries. We don't have to explain. That's just what we are.
Who paid us? You don't want to know.
We're the Viking Raiders. The Viking.
Man.
What was it? Quest.
Yeah, whatever, man. Because the real Viking Raiders can't buy a win to save their lives. I just want to think. But besides wrestling, it's a crazy time. I actually like the storytelling happening on SmackDown and Raw. It's harder to explain now. 4 months in, 5 months in the COVID era, being like, it's really good, but there's no fans still.
Yeah.
But speaking of what's going on in 2020, what is going on with our presidential race, man? I heard that we have a new vice president candidate, Ms. Harris, and Joe Biden right now. DNC is happening as we speak. Apparently, it's like a huge summit. Celebrities are coming out. Like, it's like a huge party, I guess. Everyone jumping on. Are you a political person, Humza? Are you just kind of like watching from a side? I mean, as a comedian too, you have to have a perspective, I think, right?
First of all, I'm going to go back and help your transition up a little bit. First, we're going to say rest in peace to the legend Kamala. And then the new vice president, Kamala Harris. There you go.
Wow. That's it. First of all, there was Kamala and Kamala. They're two different people, okay? I saw that promo.
Yeah. No, but I mean, to be honest, it's probably a little bad because just last year I became a U.S. citizen, so I got the right to vote. And I was looking forward to voting.
Sorry to cut you off there, but that's really hard. Is it hard or is it?
No. The hardest part about the test was to keep myself from making jokes. Like, It was so hard when she looked at me and said, "Are you part of ISIS?" Like, I mean, who's asking at this point? Because I want to. We can go off on a tangent if you want to, but
right. Who is ISIS?
Yeah, I'm like,
never saw Humza again.
No, but I mean, I've never paid attention to politics, so I don't really know how to go about this. To be honest, to be completely fair,
Sure.
I should care. I really should, but I feel sometimes, and this might be a popular opinion, that no matter which way we do things and what we do, like which way we go, how I vote, whatever. The world's still going to continue in the way that it continues. And things are going to keep happening the way they're going to keep happening. So instead of getting my hopes up, like, I still don't even vote for American Idol because when my person doesn't win, it fucks with me. Like, I can't take it.
Did you just equate the president of the United States with American Idol?
Yes. Who was the winner this season? Just Sam, by the way. Shout out to Just Sam. Hi, if you're listening.
I stopped watching when it went to ABC. I couldn't tell you.
That was actually my first AfterBuzz podcast, the American Idol one.
Really?
And we ended up so what happened was it was 3 newbies and a person that's been there for a year. And when we showed up, the person that's supposed to be the veteran didn't show up. Didn't say anything, none of that. So we just said, you know what, let's just go because they were going to cancel it because there were 3 newbies. But we just did it. And we ended up booking the winner of the show on our show. So I was like, all right, look at us go. So I'm sorry,
the best things when it's you and a bunch of rookies. Like, okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Let's throw shit against the wall, see what sticks. And I know we just transitioned from presidential talk to American Idol. I'm sorry, we can go back.
That was you did it first. You're like, if my guy doesn't win, I'll be upset. I was like, what?
Well, that's what it is. It's like if I vote for one idiot, the other idiot's going to do something to piss me off. And if I vote for this idiot's going to do something to piss me off. At the end of the day, I like to live my life in a way of what I experience on a day-to-day basis versus what the TV's telling me. So as much as of an opinion people could have on Donald Trump, I will say that as a person living in America, as an American, I've had a pretty good last few years, personally speaking, outside of some stupid comments and things like that. Same goes with the presidents beforehand, right? My life personally, Humza, doesn't change much.
You can explain yourself to me. I'm just asking you a question. No, look, man, Flo, I'm letting you know. It was me personally.
It's not. I want the listeners to understand because people take this to me being like, "Don't vote" or "It's not mattering" or whatever it is. I'm just explaining my point of view and where I stand. That's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we get the job done. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I guess how does it look for someone who I guess volunteered to be a citizen, right? Like I didn't have much of a choice. My parents had me here, so I'm a citizen by birthright. But seeing, I guess, the circus of it all, you got pep rallies and people are wearing red hats versus pea hats, and people have their guy or gal, and their gal didn't win, so they're mad, they're not going to vote. How does it look like from the outside perspective? I
wouldn't expect anything less. We're supposed to be a free country, right? We're supposed to be this country where we can express ourselves in the way we want to express it. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't get to express themselves the way they want to express it, right? Some people get a better platform, if you will. But bottom line is, it's like, say what you want to say, mean what you say, mean what's in your heart. If you're an ugly, nasty person on the inside, cool, let me know that. I'll avoid you. Don't let me bring you onto my podcast and be like, hey, I'm Flobo, and then you turn out to be this racist in the background.
No one's gonna be like, look, man, Humza, I'm a really ugly person. You can't put me anywhere. Like, no one says that.
I prefer that.
No one admits they're a bad driver either. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna say like, yeah, I'm trash. You don't want to play your show.
Because everyone on the road that drives slower than me is a grandma, and everyone that's going too fast is a crazy.
Right.
That's the way I look at the road.
So you are the benchmark. You yourself.
I am the benchmark. Correct.
That's how things break down, man. That's no. I mean, look, I'm not a political person. I guess now, people who listen to the show. I can't believe we're on episode 7. I mean, this is like a thing. Yeah, I know, right? Woo! We're not canceled because it's my network. But I ran for politics, and to me, I was so jaded to seeing how the whole thing works. But now we're seeing it on the bigger scale, where everyone's live tweeting it like it's the Oscars, and everyone's picked a political party like it's their sports team, and it's just like this weird subreal vibe, like, which America do you want? And I just want to be able to like go to work and pay bills. Is that too hard to ask? Flobo 2024. That's coming next. I think the RNC is coming up soon. I mean, the election's around the corner. So here's the deal. Last question about this before we get into the whole nitty gritty of it. Are you going to vote in person? Are you going to mail your ballot in? Are you going to tell a friend to vote for you on your behalf, commit voter fraud? What is your plan in November?
I was hoping, like American Idol, we can text our answer to 33133, depending on who we want to go for, but that's not doable. I prefer to mail it in. I don't like lines. I don't like crowds. I don't like going to the DMV. I went to go get tested again for Corona. I hated that process. I just don't like being around people.
You do crowds. Comedy, though. I was like,
on stage by myself.
But there are crowds around you. You have to go through the crowds.
It's standing in a crowd for long periods of time, anxiety city. Can't do it. I can't have people behind me. Restaurants, I can't sit with people behind me. I'm always in the corner. It's just weird.
So how must work on dates, huh? Do you just go like, oh, this is the chair I'm sitting? Like, what happens if you're with someone else and they sit in your seat? Do you get mad? Do you push them aside?
No,
and just take it?
You make reservations and you make sure they know ahead of time exactly where you want to sit.
No, I mean,
and it's typically by the water.
Date. You're walking with your date, and they cut in front of you to sit in the seat you were planning on. Do you say, excuse me, date, you best to move? That's my chair?
Yeah.
Are there ever any second dates after that?
Always. Bro, to be honest, and this is gonna help. This might even help people with anxiety a bit. I have really, really bad social anxiety. Okay. So it's weird because what people don't get is when I'm in front of y'all and I have this energy and whatever it is, it's a lot of fun. But after I leave, I crash, like completely drained. I don't want phone calls, no FaceTime, none of that stuff. Yeah. And with that said, what I've learned about myself is what causes these things, right? And instead of going out with people who don't know who I am and it causes an irritation or whatever it is, I let all my friends know whenever we go out, if we're sitting at a bar, we're sitting at a restaurant, we're going to see a show. We went to the CBS showcase, stand-up showcase they had. They got me the corner seat because they understood. I explained it. Now, I'm not the type to be like, you have to give me this and it must be this. My purpose is if I speak on it, my anxiety a bit, then my friends and family around me, if they care about me, can work around it.
That totally makes sense. I feel like if you were having any kind of accommodations or so, I just imagine you being on a first date and this another sitting there and you're like, no, that's my seat. How about we switch?
Yeah.
I'm not. I guess I'm like you in that I'm an ambivert. Like I can perform. Like I will go to the comedy show, perform 30 minutes, but then I'm going home. Like I don't hang around. I don't drink with the boys. I'm sure you don't even drink at all. But I mean, I don't hang around and talk or anything. My anxiety is being a host, man. If someone's like, I want you to plan the day, like a date. I hate planning dates because I'm always like, are you having a good time? Are you having a good time?
Did I do right? Did I do good?
I DJ weddings, and which is great because you get to party and tell jokes and be an MC and mix. But that is the entire thing you do. You guys like this mix? Oh no, they're sitting down. Oh no, I'm losing the crowd. Please come back. So I get it. I totally get the whole anxiety thing about it. But I just thought it was kind of funny if like when someone calls you up and go, I'm crashing your place tonight. Like that freaks me out more than saying, hey, you're sitting on the outside of a chair at a restaurant. But everyone's different.
I gotta put that somewhere. We gotta make a skit of that. Like go to the restaurant with that. That's pretty good. I'm gonna have to add it.
Yeah, we're talking earlier. Go ahead. It's not stealing if I allow it. We're talking about Retribution earlier. We got a comment here from us from Jerry who says, "My thought on Retribution since last week's SmackDown was, what if Retribution is part of the NXT brand building up for Survivor Series? That's why they haven't attacked NXT." Oh, jeez. What do you think about this first? I want your opinion about this first before I totally get upset.
I that seems like a very logical answer,
I
but
hate logic.
it's almost like it's this typical WWE style, right? Like, let's throw something out there that's interesting, and then we'll come up with the ending of it when we come up with it. And if we book ourselves into a corner, we'll do some dumb shit like there's a spider in a cage from Eric Rowan or something like that.
True. You're giving Jerry. I think you're giving WWE too much credit, and it's not their fault. You know, I mean, it's not their fault. But like to sit there and tell me that they are planning Survivor Series, which is in the third week of November, where they put a pay-per-view a week after SummerSlam, tells me that they're not doing that plan whatsoever.
That's true. Good call.
I hope they attack NXT, whatever, you know, because they're all trainees, as Dylan said here. But yeah, I don't. Please, I don't know what this is.
Let me ask you the question. I'm not entirely sure how Evolve Wrestling is, if it's still going with wrestlers there or not. But I heard that WWE just acquired them, right? They just bought that out. So what if it's a bunch of Evolve wrestlers coming over? I saw Arturo or whatever his name is in the underground, right? Yeah, the guy with the beard. He was with Evolve. Yeah, he's with Evolve, right?
Yeah. See, the thing is and this is where it gets to because if this happened once or twice, you can say we're from this promotion. Look at us. But it's been a month now. And so whatever it is, you got to tell me, or else we're going back to Eric Rowan in the cage. Like, okay, the first couple times was great, but now it has to be some big idea. Because you can't, or at least have it be a bunch of rookies and a leader that it's kind of a big name for it to make sense. If it's a bunch of like rookies from another promotion, we technically as WWE fans saw once on the network, then game over, bro. Like,
right.
It'll be one of those worst angles of the year because they're not really doing anything. They're not saying we want more time. They're not making any demands. They're just spray painting stuff and piecing out.
Yeah. it may make sense. It may make sense if CM Punk's leading them.
No.
CM Punk.
No.
I missed the crowd.
Go.
Like if there was a crowd there, they would yell CM Punk every time Retribution showed up.
True. But let me ask you this, man. As a comic, how's the COVID life affected your business? Or your art?
My art. Dude, like this is the year that I was supposed to like really do some shows and I had all these things booked up and everything kind of fell through after COVID hit. Majority of which was in May and June and July for different comedy festivals. And it was sad. It was sucky. However, like as one thing fell off, another picked up. So, you know, that fell off and I got Flobo. You want to put that back up?
Okay, sure. Current president. Yeah.
All right. Yay. I'll be Vice. No, so it sucked, but at the same time, I picked up this wrestling show and I picked up doing AfterBuzz with you guys because y'all brought me on board, which filled a bit of a void. And then I started doing this Rikishi podcast with Rikishi that we're doing weekly. And then it's like as things fell off, other things are being picked up. So my time is still being utilized. I'm still creating content. I'm still putting myself out there, and I'm hoping that all this will circle back at the end of all this, you know?
Yeah. So do you still have comedy goals, like a business unfinished, or are you okay with transitioning to other parts of the Humza brand?
I love stand-up comedy, but I've never wanted to do stand-up comedy.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I was working at CarMax at LAX Inglewood, right? And I was working with this guy. Yeah, this guy Mark Jones. Mark Jones, may he rest in peace. The dude was just actually killed by a CHP officer this year. I'm not sure what happened. Still haven't heard any news. But here's the funny story behind it. So he was very unfunny. Not a funny guy.
Sorry,
but he used to make me laugh. Dude, he used to make me laugh so much. So he would always be like, people would be like, wait, what are you talking about? But he was so funny because he was like a bigger guy, but he had a very like gentle way of talking. Yeah. And then he translated to doing stand-up. And then he went out there, he did it, he sucked, like just bombed. And all my coworkers were like, you do better than him, go up there. So in 2014, I decided to just go up there once. And I ended up having a great time. Like we had a great time. They recorded it. It was fun. Everyone laughed, blah, blah. So then me and him started working together. One thing led to another. And I started getting just booked on comedy shows. And it was just something that I'm naturally kind of good at. So I kind of went with it. But I would find myself preparing for comedy shows like I would a wrestling match. like
Okay.
putting wrestling music on, thinking of myself in front of the crowd, going out there,
Yeah.
being with the audience, all that stuff. It translated well on the stage, but
Agreed.
I didn't get that payoff I wanted at the end. I love making people laugh, but I wanted that payoff at the end of something a little bit more physical, a little bit more performance, a little bit more me.
Yeah, by physically
So-
you mean like actually fighting, fighting, or like a harder response from the crowd. I'm just a little
right.
confused.
No,
Okay.
physical, more of a more of an art that I could present. So comedy is
Okay.
5 minutes to 10 minutes on stage, and you sit there, you tell your jokes. It's the same jokes. They laugh, you're done. But with other stuff like wrestling, for example, there's a whole new level of like athleticism you have to reach. You got to be able to do things with your body you haven't done before. So all of that is like talking is natural to me. So what I'm just talking, I'm okay. All right, after hours. All
Yeah,
right.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where do they donate money for these dollar tips for that kind of stuff?
OnlyFans coming soon.
There you go. But yeah, so then I started just going with it, and then the good thing about it is it got my confidence up, and I started
Okay.
believing that I can do things I set my mind to, and which
Yeah.
made me then reach out to Rikishi, Reno, and say, hey guys, what do you think about me trying to do wrestling? And they brought me in, tested me out. Every time they put me in front of anyone, including people like X-Pac or Maria Menounos when she came in to try out, right? It was like a confidence there. I had the confidence in knowing that I belonged there. And if it wasn't for comedy, I would have never gotten there. So I think it all ties together. I don't want to give up one art over the other. Anything that opens doors for me, man, I'll go for, because it's so much fun watching people laugh and come to me afterwards and be like, do you remember when you said this like 6 years ago? This made me laugh. Like, that makes me so happy. It's not even funny.
Where'd you start comedy?
Started in 2014, Sal's Comedy Hole, Melrose.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, so the guy that was running the show there, he came and bought a car for me at CarMax. And
Yeah.
after I sold it to him, I said, I always wanted to try it. He says, come through. Came through, and it just ended up being a great time. Then I saw him on like True TV doing that America's Dumbest Criminals show and stuff. So I was like, look at you going places.
Wait, what was he hosting it, or was he dumb
Hosting. Hosting. He was hosting. He was hosting.
You going places. I was like, dang.
He was hosting, yeah.
You talked about the whole car game. I don't know if you've been seeing about this story about the Uber and Lyft are in a fight with the state of California about being considered employees over gig workers. There's so many people that I know that hop in an Uber a couple hours a day, side cash, so they can like pay their bills or get whatever. But they're independent contractors, which means they don't have to deal with their insurance and all that stuff.
I'm gonna TO you real quick. Like the last 30 seconds, as soon as you said Uber and Lyft, started cutting off for me.
Why? What happened? You're a former driver?
No. It cut off for me. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So
I don't know what just happened.
The idea is that like those Uber drivers are like considered like independent contractors or whatever. But like California is saying they have to be like considered employees because they're out there, they're driving a certain way, and of course Uber doesn't want to pay the insurance, and they're threatening to shut everything down. Question for you, man: have you ever done the Uber thing? I feel like almost every comic or every actor has to do that something at some point.
No, I've
So
never.
you lucked out. My
no.
turn. I was a Lyft driver for 3 months.
Never.
And I hated it. Because you know what it is? It's not even so much about driving around town. That's the easy part. Traffic isn't even that bad. But when you have strangers in your car and you're living your life a quarter mile at a time, no, when you're living 5-star reviews at a time, you feel like you're driving your grandma every moment. And that drains the hell out of you. So you can imagine someone gets in the car. How long have you been doing Lyft? Next. How long you been doing Lyft? Next. It's just a whole weird vibe. So I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, it's weird because it's your personal property, right? It's your personal space. And some of these videos I've seen, people are so disrespectful. And the thing is, like, if I get into a fight with somebody in a limo or a taxi, I don't care. I'm gonna go ham because I can kick the window, the seat, I can rip the windshield wiper off and smack you with it. But if I'm in my car, I don't want my car to get destroyed if you're about to start choking me out from behind, And it's just the weirdest thing. Like if I had to do one of those services, it would be the delivery of food, the Uber Eats or something like that, right? Like I'm sorry, your fries weren't there, but I got a free meal, thank you. Like something like that. Like that's great.
I did that too. I hate that for another reason.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you pull up and someone's like, I'm in the 4th complex in the back. You're like, oh, come on.
Dude, as soon as somebody calls me from Uber and says like, can you come down, or hey, I'm outside, and I'll always say how to come up and instructions and everything, I always go down there because there's no parking. I feel so bad for these guys. Like,
Yeah.
they're trying to get you just your stuff, and no one wants to drive in Cali, but here they are trying to help you out, and people are so rude to these people. Like, they should be employees, though. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
They
why
should be
not, man?
employees.
Why not? Before just circling back real quick, Dima Katabi says in the chat, "What are Humza's goals in wrestling? Does he dreams of one day working for a major promotion like AEW or WWE?" Actually, I think it's interesting she put AEW first, but what do you think?
First of all, either one. I'm not either one, any one of them, really. So my thing is the more I can get myself out there, the better for me. AEW is wonderful. WWE is obviously the goal, but WWE is big dogs, right? Like, to me, it'd be it'd be a smarter career journey to start in a place like AEW where you're allowed to mess up, and it's okay if you mess up. Not that you should, but it's okay if you do. No one's gonna chew you out for it and bury you for it. Where in WWE, you're not allowed to mess up. You got to be perfect all the time, and even then, you can get buried. So I would love to take it from there. The thing about Nox Pro is they're connected very much with all the different promotions. In fact, we had the one Billy Gunn come down and train with us, and he's creative for AEW. So they're there all the time, and that's why I love this I Am Wrestling show, because they watch this. So if they hear me all the time, they see me all the time, they see, like, damn, he's got a nice dome, like, that head needs to be on TV.
And it's
Bring
pretty
him on
smooth.
board.
Yeah.
It's shiny.
So do you want to work or do you want to commentate?
I'll take, like I said, for commentary, I say for comedy, I'll say for hosting. To be honest, place me where you gotta place me, as long as
I
I'm in front of
understand that,
people.
bro. I get that, but what do you want to do first? Like, in the mind's eye, what do you think? Are you getting strap? Are you
Yeah,
commentating?
If I have to reveal my plans, right? If I had to fantasy book myself in,
Do it,
I
baby.
would fantasy book myself as a commentator who becomes a manager, who creates a faction, who then comes off as somebody who doesn't know how to fight, then gets booked into a fight, but comes off as somebody who does know how to wrestle and is able to put up that fight. Similar to how Drake Maverick kind of did his thing, where it's like no one really believed he can do it. He came out, he started putting on this great performance, and everyone's mind was blown. One of those things, either that angle or something along the lines of a commentator who talks a lot of shit, gets himself in trouble, but then ends up being able to handle himself in the ring. Something like that as well. That'd be fun.
So you are literally saying everything.
Everything.
Everything. Do everything. It's
Dude,
funny.
go ahead.
No, I'm saying every fan of wrestling has at one point thought about doing it. Much like every fan of rap has thought about rapping. But it's funny you had yourself a plan from the get-go, from the jump.
I could ask you this question, though. And you have to be realistic with yourself, right? Realistic. I'm 5'7", right? There's not much I can do in a wrestling ring where I can go to the top. Rey Mysterio's done it, but, like, who else? Right? Muggsy Bogues has done it in the NBA, but, like, who else? Right? So, like, here I am. I got to be realistic with myself. My strong points are by talking. So I know that's going to pick me up first. I just know it is. And I got to be realistic. And then that can lead me to hey, can I come to training with y'all once to see what I can do? Like, dude, you can actually handle yourself. Why don't you do this? Kind of like how they threw me into that match.
Yeah, for sure. Because it definitely seemed that you're a game, you're ready to go. And you took a lot of heat in that match, too. I mean, the shows air every Tuesday, it seems, right? 7:30 Pacific on Facebook, Nox Pro. And, I've seen them, I think I've seen 3 episodes of you have 6 out. Or something like that. I've seen half of those. And one week I flip it on, and you're taking heat in the corner. The next week you're doing commentary, nothing happened. I'm like, dude, this guy's everywhere, man. You're gonna be the voice of it, man.
Here's the funny thing. So the guy I was wrestling with, AJ, he's an actual MMA fighter. He's a shoot fighter, things like that. So he's very, 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 very stiff in the ring. And I don't think he realizes what we're doing in there sometimes. He loses it and goes his direction. So it irritated me a bit because he wanted to do stupid things like, I hope he's not even listening to this, but he wanted to do stupid things like practice the match for 3 hours. Wow, I'm like, dude, I don't have that kind of cardio. I know what I'm doing. Let's get in there and let's just go. But what ended up happening is he's not there yet where his brain could think of what's next yet. So because of that, I ended up having to take a lot of the moves, and I was blown up the entire time, meaning I couldn't breathe. And then, so what I did was, they're like, you should have given him a receipt. You should have hit him in the face back. Now, he's 6 foot tall. I'm 5'7". He's nearly 200. I'm 150.
What's wrong with
that? He's an MMA fighter. I am your friendly tech support from Dell, right?
I know computers and technology.
Can you, I couldn't punch him in the face and get away with it. So I invited him on commentary instead the week after, and I buried him there.
Okay, how do you bury somebody on commentary? Like, walk me through this because I want to do that in my life. I want that's on my bucket list to bury somebody on commentary. How's it done?
You make them come off as less than. It's pretty simple to do. So he's kind of like not there. So
Okay.
what I did was, you can watch the clip. Actually, it's pretty funny. I posted it, but it was the very beginning was we're helping independent wrestlers get back to the ring. That's our motto right now. That's our company's goal to help independent wrestlers get back in the ring. And then I said we're also helping them get back in the scene. And I have a wrestler with me today. It may not be the wrestler I asked for, but I guess it's the wrestler I got.
Yeah.
AJ. And then he turned and said his thing. And then towards the end of it, when he cut his promo, is when I said, "Are you cutting a promo on me?" Right? So he goes into the stupid little promo, and then if you just, I gotta post it, but you just gotta watch my reaction to it. All I did was make him look like he was an idiot, and he sounded stupid. So it worked. It worked. If anything, he buried himself. I just covered it with dirt.
Right. So are you considered a heel then now on Knox Pro? Or are you just that guy? Everyone give you props.
Just like you say, I'm like a natural heel. You know,
yeah, you are. You absolutely are.
I love being the good guy. I love being the person everyone likes and stuff. But to me, naturally, like I'm a little bit more. I'm smart. I'm not smarter. Witty. There you go. I'm good at comebacks. Right. Clap back game strong. So.
Okay. All right.
So like I'm just quick. I'm a little quick-witted when it comes to insults or coming back at you and stuff like that. I've always been, you know, and so that's one thing I got to watch on commentary so I don't bury some of my fellow wrestlers. But I do know that, like Chris Jericho, I can make you feel stupid on the mic. You know, I can make you look dumb on the mic. And if you say the right things to the right wrestler, you can get their career to go away. It can happen. Right. In fact, kind of, in my opinion, that's what happened with Billy Gunn and his career, you know, with The Rock. His promo he cut. So
that literally killed him. Where are you from? Are you from Florida?
Pakistan.
Oh, right. You just said you were okay. But I'm saying, is it like New York or Detroit where you get like it's like battles with people or verbal like back and forth, so like snaps or dirty dozens? No. Like what's the culture there?
No, it's I grew up in Texas.
Okay.
And believe it or not, this is like something I don't really talk about, but I grew up in Texas and I grew up like I was a foreigner. I was 7 years old. We came to this country. I didn't know English at all. And people made fun of that for me and called me names and all that stuff and asked me like weird questions about my race, my religion all the time, always insulting my family, always insulting me all the time. Like I'm talking about daily. The craziest thing about it was as I got older and realized what racism was, because in Pakistan, we don't have races. We just have Pakistanis. So when we come to a country where there's different races and they talk to you about your race being so less than, the craziest part about it was majority of the people that were talking shit to me about this were Mexicans and blacks. Like my school was 90% like Mexicans and blacks, about 5% whites and about 5% others, Asians, you know? Yeah. And I would get this. So what I started doing with myself is I started like really thinking and researching and looking online. I would watch TV and just try to think, okay, what's a negative about this race? And then I started saying that back, right?
We've all done that.
They came to me, like the Mexicans would be like, why do you people always own gas stations? And I would be like, why do you people always clean my gas stations? Like it just went really quickly. And then I became this shitty little racist as I got older. Right. Because I'm living in Texas and I'm living around people that all they do is talk about race. Everything's about a race. Sure. And to the point where my principal even came to me once and said, I don't know what your ethnicity was. So on my little census, I put other. And I was like, cool, you could have asked, but okay.
I'm team other. It's cool.
So going up in that kind of environment, and I had no one. So I wasn't like, with all the other races, they had more of their group, their majority. I was the only Pakistani in my class and every class. So I didn't have anyone backing me up. I had no brothers or sisters with me. I had no cousins with me. It was just Humza by himself. So I had to come up with being quick-witted and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I started not liking how mean I became to people. And that's when I started backtracking, like unlearn that kind of thought process. You don't have to always come back to at somebody if they insult you. You gotta be just a bigger person overall. And I think that your life works better that way if you don't respond to negativity with negativity, but instead you respond with positivity.
Yeah, there's a reason I was saying that because I grew up in Brooklyn and it's very, very similar. I mean, no matter what neighborhood you are, you're pretty much in this box with different kids. So my parents came to the country in the 70s before most of the Caribbean parents. But by the time I was in the school, we had a lot of the ex-Soviet Russian Jews that came during the fall of the Soviet Union. So like it was like this giant pecking order in school. So who was quick-witted and who had the best snaps, either in rap or in comedy, because they were in that hot box. As I was asking if you were like from like
Yeah.
Detroit or like from like New York or something like that. Jerry Wynn says, Humza, is there any comeback that your favorite or you've said that you've received on commentary or on a promo?
To be honest, I mean, I don't have a favorite. I mean, I would be have to think back at everything I said. 9 times out of 10, I don't remember what I say. And if I'm on the cusp and just going at it, and I'll have to go back and watch, like I'll watch this again and be like, damn, we talked about that, because like my brain spits out information real quickly. And yeah, I mean, people have told me things they liked. Like this girl actually hit me up. This is funny. This girl hit me up. She's so cute, and she followed me on Facebook. And I was like, okay, who is this person trying to hack my account? So she messaged me and she goes, hey, do you remember me? And I was like, no. And she goes, do you remember in kindergarten? She goes, I go, no. And she goes, in the kindergarten, you sat with me at lunch and you made milk come out of my nose because you were so funny. And this was before I knew I was funny. This is when I thought I was like a nobody, you know?
Right.
And the fact that she remembered that makes me laugh. And some of my other, like, I have a lot of friends from elementary school growing up that I still have as friends. And they always say, like, I remember once you were sitting here and you said this. And I didn't think of myself as funny until I got older. So now it's like the comeback stuff is like, okay, I'm starting to realize what I'm doing versus just doing it. Make sense?
Yeah, it's funny because like I'll talk to other comics, especially LGBT comics, and they say that for a lot of comedians, when they go on stage, they realize it's the gift, they and essentially come out in that way. But then their friends and family already know they're famous, they're funny. Much like how your family knows and they're not going to treat you any differently because the vibe has not changed. Well, that was pretty interesting. I was never a snap comic, but props.
Yeah, what's funny about that? What you said about that personally is when I moved to LA, my dad hated it. He did not want me to be here, and I moved here about 10 years ago, and I was 22, and to the point where he just cut me off. He's like, I'm not giving you no money, none of that stuff. After I got here, so I like got here and then had $0. Yeah. So this long journey happened where I was like, I have to prove to him that I belong here. Like I have to show him I don't have to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. I know I can do that. But that doesn't mean I have to do that, right? Like that's stuff that it's not gonna be fun for me. I don't care. Like money to me is not the most important thing in the world. And so with that said, now here we are. And my dad calls me every day and he says to me, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
What?
My dad always said to me he wanted to be a stand-up comedian. But just like most Middle Eastern dads, he's like very stern, so you don't think that. But he's a really, really funny guy. I know where I get my funny bone from. Yeah. And what's funny is he was told, I bet, no growing up. So he thought he had to tell me no so I don't mess my life up. But then here I am at age 33, like living my best life. Like I can't complain. In 2020.
Yeah, it's weird because like my dad is in that same boat. Like my dad was so stern that at 24, I got my first handshake from my dad. Explain that. My first handshake. I was like, it was like Mania. I was like, what should I do, crowd? Do it! Don't do it! So I totally relate. I told my dad I wanted to be a comedian. He told me right in my face, there's no money in it. I mean, he was right, but at the time, you didn't want to hear that. So yeah, I could totally relate that. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Like that when your dad admits that, say, hey, look, you're doing the thing that I wanted to do, and you're doing it to the point where now you're willing to do that and grow to something else. It's pretty rad.
Right.
And
now I'm just to a point where it's like, damn, what else can I do? Like, let's do it. Whatever you need, Flobo, let's go, man.
What the hell's next? No, really, what the hell's next? Because you told me before we were on air that you're currently a content creator for this brand new app you're working on. So what are you doing? What are you working on?
So right now, believe it or not, this was something that ended up being like a pleasant surprise. So like I told you, my strong point is talking, right? I'm not so much as an Instagram model by any means. I get a few likes, but, but so there's a new app that reached out to me a few months ago called the Stereo app. Okay, Stereo, Stereo, Stereo app. And they're like, hey, we're creating a new platform. And it's basically like, Instagram and all those other social media platforms, but it's just for voice. Meaning we're going to have a few comedians, podcast hosts, things like that come on as content creators. And you're going to let's log on and people are going to be paired up with you at random. And you're going to just have fun conversation with them, make them laugh. It's just random talks, like kind of what we're doing right now. Right. I wouldn't know that I'm talking to you. It'd just be a random person.
Right.
So I said, sure, that sounds great. And we went through this whole like audition process. Then they had me jump on randomly once to see how it would do. They paired me with this stripper from San Diego. Okay. And right when she got on, I'm like, all right, I'm expecting a comedian to bounce ideas off of. And she's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, hey, I'm Humza. Nice to meet you. Do you want me to recite the entire thing of Hamilton for you? And she's like, okay, but it ended up being really funny. and she was super hilarious. And just we were Zooming. We realized we had the same couch. I don't have my couch behind me, but I was in my living room and there was a couch and we had the same couch.
Wow.
And it was just like a fun 45-minute conversation. And then they hit me up the week after and said, hey, we're bringing you on board. So August 27th, please download the Stereo app, as it is my first like paid booked gig that I have, like, you know, major somewhat in some kind of capacity. So if you guys can listen, give me some feedback, man, I would love that. And then let's see how it goes, because they're doing a great job with promotions and everything. And it's just, I don't know, cool.
Yeah, wow, dang, you out there killing it,
bro.
Yo, seriously, that's what I was like, man, I'm surprised you were able to have time to do the show.
Yeah.
You know,
I come through because like 2020 has gotten everyone to not do things. So like, who's available? Who wants to do? I'll do it, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like comedian you never wanted, but I'm the comedian you got. Here I am. I'll help you out with this. And it's like, the same way with, I feel like the same thing with my trainers at Knox Pro. They never looked at me as somebody as they would bring on to help them do this kind of stuff. But
Right.
with one thing and another came through, it's like damn, like we can utilize the talents that you have here, and in turn we can give you exposure and knowledge. And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So
yeah, now run the ropes, jump.
I hate running the ropes. I can't
know.
breathe.
It's like it defies the logic of wrestling, how you like get thrown and you kind of run and then
Bounce.
yeah,
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you do it right, it's a lot of fun when you bounce on the ropes, because a lot of people are scared it's gonna snap. So they always
Right.
like hold on or like really lightly go back. I throw my entire body into it. I'm 150, 160, right? So I throw my entire body into it, and I actually bounce right off, and to where I come at least to the middle of the ring.
I have not tried it. I've gotten in the ring, I've done commentary, I've done announcing, but I have not done it. Just one more story I really caught my eye this week. I don't know if you've heard about this. There's actually one Blockbuster video still open, and I really just wrestling in a minute. There's actually one Blockbuster that's open in the entire planet. It's in Bend, Oregon, where you can still rent videos and VHSs, and they're converting itself into an Airbnb where you can sit and you can watch movies for the next time being. And to me, I saw that as a wrestling fan. I'm like, oh, this is just a classic repackaging of a gimmick, right? So, Humza Khan, I got to ask you, do you have a gimmick right now? And if you did, what would you change or repackage it to?
Well, that's actually a really great question. I don't have a gimmick right now, but I've been thinking about one. And it's the gimmick I've been thinking about is like a cross between Loki from the Avengers and the genie from Aladdin. So like almost like a trickster, kind of someone that plays tricks on people or like fools you and gets away, more sneaky and stuff like that because I'm smaller. So you remember like Leo Rush, and when you teamed with Bobby Lashley at first, he was a little evasive. He was flipping around. They couldn't get hands on him.
Yeah.
Similar to that, but with like smoke and mirrors. Like I love fireworks. I love smoke. I love popping fireworks and everything like that. I'm really
Fireballs.
good at controlling that stuff. I'm a pyrotechnic. So like I really want this like weird kind of trickster character you just cannot trust, and you just don't know where he's gonna go and who he's gonna side with, and it's always looking like low key, always looking out for myself.
Sure.
Yep. And then my storyline I had was because of the genie is that I was a prince back in my home country, which is like a made up one, and I was supposed to marry and take over the kingdom, but I didn't because I was obsessed with gold and I didn't want to share my gold. So because of that, I was cursed to be a genie, and the only way to break my curse is to achieve more gold, and the gold I'm after is the titles.
So I feel like the WWE will put you in NXT, and you'll just be an angry guy from the Middle East. Not even the subcontinent, the Middle East, like a totally different region than the planet. And then when you get to the main roster, you'll give you like a weird story like they did Jinder Mahal. Remember his story? It was like, we had Kali's sister's dowry. He's part of the family.
The things they do with my people, it's awful, bro. It's so awful. And so, in fact, it's so ingrained in their head. So just to kind of give them a bit of I want all the smoke. All right, I'm coming for you, Montez. Challenging everybody. So the thing is, people don't realize, but old school wrestling used to be a territory thing, right? And it would be a person from Texas taking on a person from Iran, and that's what they would be, that character. And now that we're all encompassed and all one, people are just different, unique things, not just where you're from. And that's their old school mentality. Even at Knox Pro, Rikishi does that. He'll be like, okay, you're from your country, wear the whole garment and everything. We'll take pictures and all that. So I'm trying to take what he wants to do with me because I want to listen to him and follow his instruction and just see where it goes, but then apply my own like trickster, genie, magic thingamabob to it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that in its full form. And
Yeah.
who will do your ring gear? I can't wait to see that, man.
Oh my God, that would be so amazing. Or the alternative would be, you know, one of Tozawa's ninjas. So either one.
You deserve better. You deserve
Either one.
You can imagine if the ninjas and Retribution were the same group. Like, and if
Yeah,
someone's like, someone's telling someone, "Hey, man, you should go over there and like paint this production truck," but you follow Kira Tozawa around
Right,
all
right.
day.
Yeah.
To get the
It'd be
strap.
funny to see Akira Tozawa running with the ninjas, and like two of them are part of Retribution. So you know, like they have the different garment on. Like, are you guys lost? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly. Thunderdome for everybody. Yo, Humza, thanks for rolling through. What's up, Flobo After Hours, man? It's a lot of fun chatting, talking about the world, life, and you being public enemy number one. Work in the world, hit you up, stalk you, become your friend online, man.
Man, Humza Mania. Humza, HUMZA _Mania, MANIA, on all my social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram is probably the best one to follow. Also, check out Nox Pro's hashtag I Am Wrestling. Hashtag I Am Wrestling. We're putting on these shows for all of these independent wrestlers. A lot of your fans, Flobo, are wrestling fans. So we want to see more and more people come through. I know we actually were talking to people like Corey Graves maybe to come on, do commentary. Our Truth can come on too. We were talking to him recently. So the more people that watch, the more likely we are to get some of these bigger names in. And let's just help people make money, man. That's my number one thing.
Oh yeah, you can
Get
help
the
me
world
make money.
moving again.
Help me make money. I'm on the show. So I got a question for you though. Like you were looking for handles for your social media. Why Humza Mania? I mean, people think of Hulkamania, but why Humza Mania, brother?
Humza Mania. I don't know. I was one day, that was during that whole time Kofi was doing the whole Kofi Mania, KO Mania, WrestleMania thing, right? So JLJ Media, shout out to you. Thank you for the follow. But the Humza Mania came because of the Hulkamania. It just sounded funny. My name is Humza, and for the longest time, people are like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, you know. And
Okay.
my number one thing has always been like, why don't you call yourself something different? It's like, because that's my name, and if you meet another Humza, you'll be like, "Oh, I know that name," and it won't be so foreign anymore, right? I got to get it out there. So Humza Mania just helps people remember my name more, and just Mania is just something everyone can kind of remember. So when they see those two together with the little underscore, it just becomes like a branding thing, you know. So Mania is it just came about. I ran with it, and then people were calling me Humza Mania after stand-up shows. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll keep that.
It's catchy as hell. I've called you Humza Mania every week, and it's like I have no reason to do it, but Humza Mania, brother. Like I had to remember doing the show intro. Like, what, your last name isn't Mania? It was weird,
right?
Yeah, well, come
It's
back
Humza
soon,
Khan.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
Humza
exactly.
Khan,
Yeah,
right?
Star Trek reference. Yo, for real, come back soon. We're gonna have some more fun later on. Make sure you bring all your friends, Nox Pro, hookups, and Rikishi knows who I am. Please bring them through. It's your boy Flobo. It's What's Up Flobo After Hours, the biggest party on Monday nights. We're back here next week talking about news, culture, sports, and doing a dang thing. But until next time, you know the deal. Peace out.
The baddest in the land.